The moral of the story is that, uh, wait, what was the moral of the story? Hi everyone, it's Jo. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing how to manifest your ideal partner in the most simple way ever. And I am talking from experience here. I have manifested my ideal partner, but not without some life lessons. So hopefully this this video will help you skip those lessons, or if you've already been through the trials and errors of love, well, hopefully this will bring to light a little bit more so you don't have to go through all of that ever again. But this is how I personally manifested my ideal partner. So hopefully this is how you can manifest yours as well. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe if you like content like this, like the video, and comment down below. So the first thing that you want to do is find out what you don't want and your partner, the person that you're trying to call in, your, twin flame, if you will, your soulmate. What do you not want to find? What are the qualities that you're absolutely not looking for? What is it that you feel would not work out with your relationship? All those things. So to do that, you find out how you want to be treated and how the other person will treat you. For me personally, I want people to value me, to accept the gifts that I bring to them. I want someone who will listen. I want people who will, just overall care about me and care for me, and believe in me and who I am and what I say, what I stand for. But the way that I found this out was in the sixth grade, actually. I had a boyfriend or whatever. I don't even know if I can call that relationship. So we were friends, in the same friend group, but we didn't really know how to express the deep platonic love that we had for each other. I still to this day don't know if I would call that a relationship. I think we were just like friends that said that we were dating because we love each other very much, or we loved each other very much. So it was like our month anniversary or whatever. I don't know, like a week or so. It was back, in those days that you celebrate everything. Relationships go by so fast, um, in the early in the early days. So we were celebrating like a month or so together, like a week, or I don't know, something like that. And so we were getting gifts for each other. But the thing is, we made it public, so I don't know. We just didn't know any better. We just thought, yo, our friends can see how much we love each other and blah, blah, blah. And, we can show off our new gifts or whatever. So I was thinking of a gift that I could give my boyfriend at the time, but I did not find I couldn't find anything I could buy or anything at the time because I was low on money. Obviously, I could not get a job, and I was only using the allowance that my parents gave me. Um, so I was struggling a little bit to find um, a gift for him. But yeah, one night my father was preparing clams, not clams, oysters, um, and washing them in the sink or whatever in the kitchen. And he was just we were going to eat the oysters, and so he finds a pearl in one of the oysters and gives it to me. He's like, "Look, it's a pearl." I was like, "Yeah, this is great. This is beautiful." And I love pearls. I love all things nice and fancy. So I was like, yeah, this is great. And also, but I wasn't really thinking about myself. I was thinking about my boyfriend at the time. I was like, oh, he would love this. It's such this is such a romantic gift. So I took the pearl and I created I literally made a box. I made it myself. I made a box to put the pearl in so I would not lose it, and so that'd be easy to, just, take around and transport, whatever. And so the day came where we were doing our gift exchange. It was like the end of the school day, and everyone was just sort of, lining up to go home, waiting to go home. Work was finished, and it was just the last 10 minutes of the school day. And so we start to exchange gifts. So he gives me a bracelet, and it's like a braided blue and black bracelet, but it has little diamonds, like glass little pieces. They're black. Just like on, the middle, in the middle. It was going down the middle. I didn't really like it, honestly, but I accepted it anyway because I was like, this is, cool or whatever. My favorite color was not blue, it was indigo slash purple. So I was like, whatever. Neither here nor there. It just wasn't me, but it looked like a good gift. You know what I mean? Like it was seemingly a good gift. So I accepted it. I was like, yay, thank you so much. I accepted it with open arms, with love. And I was like, yeah, this is so great. Thank you so much for thinking of me. It's like I like jewelry, so thanks. Jewelry is one of those things that I could like accept and like love, regardless of if I would actually wear it or not or whatever. I would like to cherish jewelry. I would hold it as like a keepsake rather than like give it away or like send it off. So it was still a good gift, and it was still a thoughtful gift because he knew that I liked jewelry. I liked adorning myself. So I accepted it with open arms, and I expressed my gratitude. And then it was time for me to exchange my gift. So I gave him the box. He opened it, and he saw the pearl. And then he he started ridiculing me and like, oh my god, a pearl, like what am I supposed to do with that? And so my friends, because again we made this public, um were like, yeah, like this is not a gift that you would give to day, and this is like a bad gift or whatever. And I was like, well, no, it's not, because it was pretty symbolic of his situation at the time. Actually, very symbolic of his situation at the time. I'm not going to expose him or his past or whatever. Just know that it was a really good gift, and it was, very thoughtful. Um, but he just didn't see it. He looked at it as if it were like trash, literally. And then at the end of all the ridicule that I got, I received like a half-assed thank you. And so I got home that day, I moped around or whatever, and it's actually really funny the story ends this way. But I was like so melodramatic at this time. So I opened up my window. It was like a windy day, and I like threw the bracelet out my window and let it just like fall out because I didn't want it anymore. I was like honestly done with the relationship. I felt hurt. I felt just embarrassed to some extent, but I shouldn't have been. But I did feel embarrassed because my friends made me feel bad about the gift that I gave to someone who I cared about. So yeah, I threw out the window. I was done over. I was over it. Literally, like an hour or so later, my dad comes up the stairs, and he's like, "Did you like drop this or something?" He holds up the exact bracelet. I'm like, "Thanks, Dad. You're ruining the drama." That was what happened. But what I learned from the situation is, one, to privatize my relationship. Nobody is going to be involved in my relationships, like, ever. I like Even my best friend sometimes is in the dark about what's going on with my relationship. I don't talk shit about my boyfriend unless it's like minor stuff that's like really irrelevant. I like actually care about a relationship or whatever. I don't allow other people to intrude in our relationship, essentially. And everything that I do with my partner is private, pretty much, in terms of like strengthening our bond, growing a relationship, having our goals, seeing our like building our future together. It's private. It's just like the decision is between me and him. I only allow people who I trust with my heart into our relationship, and that is far and few in between. So yeah, I don't really talk about my relationship, and that's why I don't really speak about it online. And I'm really cryptic that I'm in a relationship to begin with, because people get. So yeah, the first thing is to privatize. I wanted to do was privatize my relationship. The second thing I learned from the situation was that not everybody knows the value of a pearl. I did not want somebody in my life that I was going to, you know, question my self worth with, question, my own importance, the importance of my my gift giving, my love language. I didn't want to be with someone who was going to question the way that I love them, in a way that's demeaning. And I certainly did not want to be with anybody who was going to ridicule me in front of other people, to embarrass me in front of other people. And I didn't want somebody to just make me feel less than who I am. I didn't want somebody to reject me due to societal standards, norms, or whatever. I wanted someone that was going to see past those sort of barriers, and to just allow me to be me, and them be them, and to see the connection without anybody else involved. So yeah, step number one is to figure out what you don't want in the partner. It's way easier to do that than to do step number two, which is figure out what you do want. And I have another story for that too. So in seventh to ninth grade, I had a crush on this beautiful, beautiful lady. We're friends now, but I had a crush on her for a very, very long time. But I just, we first of all, I grew up in a Christian household, so being gay was like not a thing. Not even being bisexual, like that was out of the question, truly and genuinely. Secondly, I grew up in the South, so being being bisexual out in the open in public was also a no. So I didn't really get to pursue or even like confess my feelings to her until we were in high school together and we had like classes together. We were both in like art classes. So I told her then, she took it, she received it well. But that's because she was my friend and, whatever, she understands. She probably also knew a little. But yeah, so I had a crush on her. And I was really getting into my sexuality, and like at this time, like in seventh grade, I started my period, and I was just like trying to become a woman in the best way that I knew how, and all these things were coming out. I had like a second sexual awakening, and it was just a very weird time and a weird space. But I remember her and how she was so smart, and so she was like the smart athletic type who like gets straight A's and like does well in her sports, and she was just really honest too. I loved that about her. Actually, she was like so honest with how she felt and so straightforward with her emotions, in a sense. Not like she was, being out and rowdy and like expressing her emotions every which way. But if she felt something for you, or you did something to her, she would tell you, be like, "Oh, I really appreciate that you did this. Thank you." Or if you hurt her, she didn't like a joke that you did, that you made. She'd be like, "Actually, I don't find that funny," or I kind of take offense to that, and I loved that because me personally, I never had that experience ever. I grew up, again, my household was very strict, like you do what I say, you feel how I say type of household. So I never really got that communication skill until I met her. And I was just like, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel so connected, and I feel like so safe with her, because I knew that she would tell me what I did wrong. Um, and I wouldn't have to be left second guessing. I knew that she would just like say how she felt, and I would be able to, provide anything I that she needed for her. And she was just so authentic, and empathetic, but like she had boundaries, and I don't know, boundaries are sexy to me, I guess. Boundaries and communication are sexy. And so with I keep wanting to say her name. This is how you know the crush is still there a little bit. But I really liked her. She was really artistic. She had like a creativity about her, which is very nice from a creative. yourself. Sometimes you get to this point where you're like, if you are creative, you're like, oh, well, I'm the creative in this relationship and I want to, just be that. But sometimes it's nice to have something like someone create something for you, whether it's good or not. Sometimes it's nice. And so we would exchange like little like doodles or whatever. I remember we were working on a mural together and we had like the best time ever. What I learned from this beautiful lady was, what I wanted in an ideal partner. I wanted someone that would communicate with me, have a good sense of boundaries, not only for them, but for me as well. I wanted somebody who was authentic, and I wanted somebody who was smart and a little bit athletic on the healthy side, on the fit side. And I also just wanted somebody who understood human beings in a sense. Like she was smart, like yeah, she was book smart, but she also was street smart too. Like I remember having a conversation to her about like what was going on in the world at the time. I can't really remember, but she was also like very like societally aware, socially aware, of however you say that. She was aware of like what was going on, and she gave activists a little bit, and I just I loved that about her, and so that's what I wanted to find. She, in her whole like being her own self, was all that I wanted in a partner. Um, she does have her flaws, which I'm not going to get into because this is the what we do want in a partner. And she, she has her like little quirks or whatever that make her her outside of those things that I would be looking for in a partner. And that's, just as great and, just as attractive. But what I was attracted to, she had like hit all of them, quite literally had hit all of them, all the markers. That's how I found out what I actually wanted in a relationship. Now, did I stick to that? No, I started dating other people and I found out more of what I didn't want in a relationship, which is like someone that's boring, someone that cheats on you, someone that, like, I don't know, wants to play friend, but also like wants to get in your fucking pants. Yeah, that's what I didn't want. That's what I found out after her. But I did find out what I did and did not want through just, what I've learned in my relationships, and not even just like, because again, I'd never dated her. I found out what I wanted just through, what I was attracted to, my kind of like love interests, I guess. So I manifested my ideal partner by doing two things. Now, one is like sort of like a spell of some sorts, but the other is really just how I decided how I needed to be loved. Not really what I was looking for in a relationship from another person, but how I needed to be loved, how that other person needed to love me, and how I needed to love me. So I wanted to find out what it felt like to be desired, because I was always desiring somebody else. I was always like, doing all these things. And I was like, I'm tired of doing that. I really was. I was like, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of, getting into these altercations, being bored in a relationship because there's no like chase or whatever. I was just like, man, I'm tired. I'm tired of being the one chasing, and like yearning, whatever. I want someone to yearn for me. And so what I did was I just started loving myself. I started like desiring myself. And yes, in that way too, I would take myself on little dates. If I could, I would um, make myself cute little lunches. I would bake for myself, which is where I got my nice ass baking skill from. I would just really take care of myself in all ways, and I would desire myself. I would desire to be by myself and desire to, have one on one time with myself to the point where I, it's really hard for me to get out of my own company. It's really hard for me to want to be with other people because I'm an introvert too, but also because I like being by myself. I love myself. I love being in my own company. And so, me desiring myself, desiring to fulfill all of my needs, um, to tame all of my desires and all of that, really helped me to understand how I needed to be loved, how I needed to feel if I were going to enter a relationship again. And so I did a lot of self care, self love work. Yeah, it helped me to understand what I needed to feel. So, what you need to do is you need to start loving yourself. You need to start desiring yourself. You need to be okay with being in your own company and putting yourself first and learning how to be in a relationship with yourself, because that will help you figure out how you need to feel when you are in a relationship with another person. So let's try not to have a toxic relationship with ourselves. We need to mend the relationship with ourselves, and that will help us magnetize our person, our soulmate. So, but the next thing that I did is the spell part. So we did the work action, all the things that we need to do. But this is the spell that helped me. Sort of, I say spell, but it's really just like a wishing thing, but it kind of is a spell. And this is the spell that helped me to manifest my ideal partner. Every 11/11, I would ask for love, self love, and love itself. And it worked. I tell you, it worked. And I never like actually sought it out. I would just like look, and if it was 11/11, I thought that's what I would wish for, and it would be like clockwork, literally, and it never failed. And so I would never, like, again, I would never seek out 11/11, but if I just happened to look and it was, that's what I would wish for. And this is pretty significant if you know the meaning between the 11s and 11/11, whatever. Yeah, obviously it's going to help you manifest, your ideal partner, your twin flame, or whatever. And I would really take the time to actually like say, like, I wouldn't say it out loud unless I was like alone or whatever, but I would really like take the time to like really close my eyes and really be intentional with my words. Not too long after I started doing that, I met my boyfriend, and we have, well, who I'm with now, and we've been together for 6 years. And I've never had to look anywhere else but within my own relationship to find love. So, I mean, like, I think I have some, I think I have some experience within this. And get this, not only does my boyfriend have all the qualities that I want in a person, but it's much, much more. And like everything that I never really thought of, everything that I kind of like glazed over, didn't really pay much attention to, he has. And all the bad things that I don't want are not in our relationship. So, yeah. And oh my gosh, I forgot the most important part. So, the first time that I went over his house, we were in high school, and his home address, I'm not going to tell you his home address because that's crazy, but his numbers for the home address was 111. And you're telling me that's a coincidence? Like, anyway, yeah, I did that. And so, yeah, that's how I manifested my ideal partner. And hopefully, this will help you manifest yours. I actually did talk to a friend because she was struggling with her love life, whatever. And she actually booked a reading with me, and I told her, what she needed to look for or whatever. Yeah, I gave her that exact same, like those same instructions, and she found love like not that long after. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy to say that this does work. If you're consistent, if you are actually doing the work in order to love yourself more, you just need to be committed to experiencing love in general. Be committed to evoking the feeling of love in your life, and it's going to come to you. Be in love with love, and that's really just the gist of it all. Is you have to love, and it's just gonna come back to you more. And that's how you manifest your ideal partner. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment if you feel like this will work for you, or like any like little love interest or like love story that you have, because I'm so interested in that. or just comment anything like nice or what's on your mind. Make sure to subscribe if you like me or you like this type of content. All my social media links will be down in the description, as well as resources for like mental health and stuff. And I'm so glad that you are here and you've now learned how to manifest your ideal partner. So I'm very happy for you and blessings bestowed. I hope that works out for you. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for being here. I love you guys.